Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. It's episode number 3250 and Doubleshot number 3144. I got two Spider-Man-related trades. First up, it's Venom. Venom, Separation Anxiety, the King of Purple. This collects the second volume for Separation Anxiety, which I believe is... It's 5 issues. Written by Venom's co-creator, Dan Michelini. Artwork, Gennaro Salvador. The cover is Paulo Segura and Rachel Rosenberg. That's what the cover here. So yeah, it's another story set in the past where Eddie Brock is basically behind the suit. Love the clear homage to the Web of Spider-Man cover with this one. Yeah, it's a clear homage to Web of Spider-Man because Web of Spider-Man early on had this very cool covers. I don't know if this is... I don't think it was the same artist, so if it was, welcome back, dude. So we get a little recap of Eddie Brock, per se, and then we see this place called Pilgrim Agriculture Research, and we have stuff with dealing with Jameson. You have Eddie Brock pick up a burrito. And of course, company and newspaper is like, you can't pay for that. No, take it all. That does it. Max, we're moving to Idaho because apparently he was spooked by Venom. And then we cut to the vault. Yes. Those that be curious, what the heck is the vault? The vault was, I repeat, was a superhuman prison that was basically the primary place where villains went to jail, a big superhero prison, which was established back in the 1980s in the Marvel graphic novel, simply titled The Vault, and existed for a long period of time until the place was destroyed in the opening issue of John Ostrander's Heroes for Hire. Given the fact, as I said before, that this is presumably set at some point when Venom went there. And Zebediah Killgrave, okay. Except, I don't remember him ever wearing bald, but yet here he is. Zebediah Killgrave, aka the Purple Man, is bald for some reason. And he's got scars on him. Now, I do not remember him ever looking like this at all. Some pictures of him have gray in his hair. He's been killed like a couple of times over the years, but he somehow keeps coming back somehow. So they talk about him. Yeah. Then you have Eddie act like a blind man for some reason. He goes to Venom, takes the guy out using his camouflage. Yes, camouflage. And I'm like, since when is Venom no camouflage? Like, okay. Because the symbiote does not normally do this at all. It's like, oh, let's have the symbiote disappear briefly. Despite the fact the only known character who was famous for doing that, actually is about 2 of them. One of whom actually pops up in this very mini-series. The other is Miles Morales Spider-Man. You have Eddie, of course, acting like a hero. He of course, is ultimately with a camera. He is hired, and of course, deal with yeah, Venom gets involved beating the bad guys, of course. And then he gets a fight with the Rhino! A character who, to my knowledge, has never fought, as far as I can tell, Rhino has never fought Venom before, but yet, here we go. I gotta admit, this actually was a really cool idea. Pertman escapes. He's shut up like, that tickles. And then, for some weird reason, the Purple Man starts changing into a partial symbiote for some weird reason. Which thinking, hold on. He never did this before this miniseries. And that's true. Yep. For some weird reason, Dave Michelini made, kind of in a way indirectly gave Zebediah Kilgrave, the Purple Man, tattoos and a symbiote. Actually, tattoos he got for some reason. Also, it looks like he had... It looked very closely at his head. It looks like he had brain surgery prior to this. Why? To wipe away his powers? I know in the Jessica Jones TV show it was actually a virus that caused that. And, like, yeah, brilliant. By the way, is the blonde basically his ex-wife? Not confirmed here. And then we have one Jonas Hale. And then we cut to Fort Freedom's Plaza. So this is obviously set either during the late 80s or some point in the 90s. We have Purple Man. Yeah, and then we have, once again, we have Venom going invisible. I'm like, Dave Michelini, when the heck did Venom get this ability? Because Eddie Brock never had this ability before, at all. It is quite baffling that somehow the symbiote has got cloaking powers. Even though the symbiote normally doesn't do this at all. It's like, did Dave Michelini forget how the symbiotes work? Because the last miniseries he did for Venom never mentions it at all. So then we have Venom versus the Thing. Yep. And of course, you have the randomest tattoo stuff in issue 3, where, get this, Dave Michelini brings in one of his most popular creations who is not Venom, the Ghost. Yep. And by the way, for the Ghost, I prefer this look over his current look. I actually showed Bob Layton his current look. Even he was not happy with the look. I like this look better. Because this is the Ghost. Yeah, one currently is like a blob who can like walk through walls. I'm like, what's wrong with this look? I'm sure Dave Michelini must have saw the current look up, and he's like, I don't like this look. I like the look that basically Bob Layton designed, so he went with this. And then we have two characters who, to my knowledge, had... I don't know if these two ever shared a comic prior to this one. That being the Ghost and the Kingpin. Yes. I'm trying to remember. I think Dave Michelini has read a little bit of Kingpin prior to this miniseries, but it seems like for some weird reason, whenever you have a Spider-Man type book, or this book featuring Spider-Man, where it's set in the past, and yet for some reason, like featuring Wilson Fisk here, though for some reason he goes with a white suit look. Yep. Yeah. Then the Ghost basically deals with Venom. After waiting up some guy who saved one from Purse Snatcher. Spirit name is Joy. And then we have Saturn, who I think is an Iron Man villain. And of course, Survive America We Love. And then we have these two, we have Saturn and this guy in this weird mask who's like a bodysuit person who is working with these people, and then Ghost deals with these people too. Yes. And in issue 4, you have Purple Man act like he's got a symbiote even though he doesn't. Yeah, and plus you have the little drool thing that Venom is known for. Yeah, that I have no problem with. Him doing the camouflage thing is like, what? The symbiotes have never done before this miniseries and haven't done it since then. Yeah. And once again, we have Venom versus Rhino. And then we get the final issue of the book where who would be king? Or apparently he's shot at, and then he proceeds to remove the bullets, which, yes, he can do this. Not today, Soldier Boy. Yep. Yeah. And eventually the tattoos are gone. The one that makes him have power of a symbiote. And then he's like, goes of his own, and that's it. Good miniseries, but I'm like, okay. Yeah, the obvious little question mark I have here is like, when in the world did he get the camouflage power, and why didn't he ever use that outside of his book? I have no idea. It is by far one of the most baffling things related to this character. Alright, I'm going to give it roughly a 9. It's a good miniseries, but the camouflage thing was weird. Next up we have is Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider. Fun fact, the first ongoing at the time this book came out last year, first one in 4 years. You want to know why? Because the last few years have had miniseries. Now, of course, this is written by Stephanie Phillips. Arc by Federica Moncani. These first 3 issues. Paula Vini, the social issues 3, the epilogue in 4 through 5. And there's also the Web of Spider-Man prologue. Yep, basically this book, this one-shot, this story here, just a backed up out this brand new Spider-Gwen book. Now here's the thing part of this book. This is, by far, for Gwen, this is her 4th ongoing. Yes, her 4th. First you have Spider-Gwen, then you have Spider-Man Ghost Spider, and then the Ghost Spider, and then like 3 straight miniseries, and now this. Now, there's a couple theories I have of why. Now, there's nothing to prove this. My first theory is that the reason why after the original volume ended, that why the last 2 runs have not been successful. My personal theory is that the higher-ups of Marvel do not have faith in this character. It's like after a little bit, the book gets canceled. After like barely a year. And by the way, this book, as of recently, he just released his 14th issue. 14. You're like, really? Yeah, really. 14 issues. Which makes it the longest Spider-Gwen book in years. Well, second longest ever. Do I think it might surpass Volume 2 of Spider-Gwen? Not sure. Of course, we do a time variant story. You have Gwen, who's on 616 for reasons. That's flashback to the 616 version dying. And she, of course, is trying to get a job on 616. The subject is from Earth 65. And then robbers show up, and then she suits up, battles the robbers. And still nothing resolved there. And then of course, she gets a call. Then she calls up. Then she texts Peter. Then Miles. Then Silk. MNOOB. Mostly puts for time variant story stuff. There's some boxing here. And then, of course, you have Gwen versus Kraven the Hunter. Except it's not Kraven the Hunter. Well, initially, of course. And then she ends up fighting the Chameleon. And when she explains, like, about the Chameleon, like, oh, I know who that is. Yeah, we know him. He's no enemy Peters. Which, by the way, Miles believes her, given the fact that he has encounters with him. yeah, and then forms a fake her, and then ends up fighting her and have to deal with this. But really good stuff here. I tend to think though, like, why can't she be called Spider-Woman? Like, oh, we can't have more than one Spider-Woman at the same time. And a lot of people point to this argument. Really? You have 3 different Spider-Men and 2 Hawkeyes. And also currently 2 Wolverines. How is basically having multiple Spider-Men around the same time impossible? Don't really know. But this book was absolutely fantastic. Oh, by the way, this book also features the Black Tarantula's son making his in-universe debut after debuting first at MC2, which makes him the second character from MC2 debut in the Reign universe. Yes, second one. One of the first things they brought MC2 was giving Castling Stinger. And now we have Black Tarantula's son, who actually takes over him, Black Tarantula. Like, that's interesting. Yep. And a lot of time you deal with the Chameleon here and Black Tarantula, and that's it. Really good book. Yep. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Yep. So yeah, that's the episode review. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Next up is Doctor Who. Okay? Thanks you.